We need to talk about light. Light is the tool and the key for understanding the world around us. And yeah, sure, we hear the occasional animal and, we can kind of touch things, but ultimately it is sight and it is light that allows us to see and to interact with the world as we know it. And the same is in games as well. And when we change and we adapt and we fiddle with that light, we can drastically alter our kind of perception of it. So if, for argument's sake, I was to drastically alter and adjust your kind of perception of me, that would change something. Whether I was to just adjust the contrast, take it down a bit, it gives a different effect. Whether I was to make it kind of brighter at the same time, maybe I'll adjust the contrast the other way. Every time I do it, it makes me look different and it changes the way you kind of see me, or the kind of the mood or the atmosphere that comes along. Let's go crazy. Let's kind of add a little bit of kind of green to the mix. Supposing you were to play Addy the game and it was green, that would feel very, very different to if you were to play Addy the game and it was pink, even if it was just kind of like a faint pink. I mean, this is kind of a crazy pink, but let's just go to a very, very subtle one. It feels different. Whether there's high contrast, whether there's low contrast, it has an effect on how you interact with things. And lighting and weather in a game like Fallout, as I return myself to my beautiful normality, lighting and weather in Fallout will change and improve, perhaps, and enhance, maybe, the way your character and you experience the Boston Commonwealth. Now, there is a mod which I have talked about before that I really want to take today's video and just really explore and explain and expand on and tell you why you should be using Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth. So, I'm going to plug it, I'm going to love it, I'm going to share it, because I very much hope that you will mod it. People think these videos just happen. They don't. They take lots of takes and swearing. Right, fine. Greetings everyone and welcome to Mod It. Today I want to share with you Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth. It is my favorite weather and climate mod, and it's got snow in it. It's got loads of other things in it as well, but I thought I'd start off by showing you some snow. Let me just give you a little bit of the background here. Since about November last year, here we go, there's been a mod called Photorealistic Commonwealth, which is an EMB mod that contains a weather package. I've been using it and people often say to me, how does your game look so good? It is Photorealistic Commonwealth. But not everyone can use an ENB. You might be on an Xbox, you might not like the way that makes your game a bit unstable, you might not like the huge frames per second loss, you might not be comfortable kind of installing things like that because it is a lot more complicated, blah, 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 blah. So the mod author called Looping has now divided the mod. There is Photorealistic Commonwealth and the weather, which work nicely together, but there is now also the weather all by itself, which is called Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth, or just NAC if you prefer. And it is available for PC and Xbox and will be available for PlayStation when it eventually kind of comes out. And it improves and enhances the climate and the weather in your game and a bunch of other stuff as well. It does an absolute ton of different things. And if I just kind of take us back into the game here, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep resetting the time to 12 o'clock midday, and you're just going to see a bunch of the different weathers that it includes. And every single one of these weathers are all based on real life conditions. Some of them are obviously a lot more extreme than others, when you've got massive kind of storms, and this is quite an extreme overcast one, but they're all based on real weathers. And most of them look a bit like this. Most of them have this kind of nice kind of blue skies and clouds in the air and clouds in the sky and things like that. But the lighting, which I was talking about in the introduction, is realistic. When this mod first came out in December, some people criticised it for having kind of quite a low kind of contrast feel, but it doesn't anymore. The mod author has tweaked and re-released and tweaked and re-released, etc, etc, etc. And there are just lovely, lovely, lovely weathers and lightings here that just look fantastic. And almost each one to me, I don't know if, maybe I'm getting a bit nostalgic here, but I can recognise these weathers. I can think, oh yeah, I saw that weather when I was, at the beach that one time, or I saw that weather when I went into the garden, or I saw that weather when I got irradiated to hell. But you know what I mean? These are weathers which don't make you kind of go, this is a fantasy landscape, or this is something from kind of like Skyrim or Kingdoms of Amalur or something like that. These are real life incredibly well, incredibly carefully balanced weathers to make you feel like you are part of this environment. Now this mod as well it's huge. The mod author has put so much work into this that it actually replaces a large amount of other mods that you might have installed. And I did this as well. I had installed, you can see them here, the old mods, Darker Nights, I had Dynavision, I had color correction, I had Frunzen's light tweaks, I had remove interior fog, but this mod, Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth, replaces all of them, perhaps with the exception of Dynavision, because you can either have the depth of field, the default one, or through the NB, or you can use Dynavision. But this mod is designed to work by itself, and because it is designed to work by itself, it means that it all works kind of perfectly together. Like Frunzen's light tweaks isn't necessarily designed to work with removing interior fog, but this one absolutely is. And so these are kind of perfectly enhanced and balanced weathers, both inside and outside as well. So the interior weather has been done as well. Oh, and good, here's a lovely little kind of a storm I can kind of show you here. Now, if I haven't got you excited yet, then let me show you what else I can do. Oh, it also replaces True Storms. The sound effects here have been installed. It used to work nicely with True Storms, but it now no longer needs True Storms because it has its own stormy sound effects. And also, I'm sure there'll be weird things flying across my head in a minute. But imagine this. Imagine you load this game up and you really like the look of it, but you kind of think, oh, I wish I could just tweak it a little bit. I wish I could make it a little bit brighter, a little bit darker, a little bit greener, a little bit yellower, blah, 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 blah. Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth allows you to do that inside the game. So you just run off to a science station. I haven't got one right here, but let's imagine as Dogmeat runs away from the storm. You run across to a science station and you craft these objects here. So let me just get rid of the let me put my HUD back on so we can actually see it. There we are. And you craft these objects here. And they all start NACFX. And you can craft as many or as few as you want. I've crafted them all just because I want to kind of show you a few of them. But you don't. Each one will tweak the world just a tiny little bit. And you can turn them on or off just by clicking them. So let me look at the sky for a minute. And so you can see the sky up here. And if I just turn on brighter sky, see that? The sky just got a little bit brighter. I turn it on, turn it off. A lot of these are very subtle tweaks, but you aren't ever really going to want to change the game massively because at the end of the day, it needs to be kind of playable. Some of them will have bigger effects than others, but you can see here that these mods inside the game will tweak the visuals to basically whatever you want it to be. So let me show you a few of them. So there's our lovely kind of colourful, realistic looking lake. Let's turn on NAC Effects Dead. Just takes the saturation down, subtle. But look at that, we're closer to black and white than we were before. It's very kind of like Walking Dead or maybe some kind of 70s horror movies. The colour is there a little bit, but it's subtle. Let's show you one. There's one called Lo-Fi, which gives you that kind of like old kind of camera style. It's an awesome effect. And it blows out massively in certain areas. But if you're looking for a certain screenshot or a certain look, you can use these effects to create that kind of image that you want. And of course you can use them in combination as well. So let's say you like Lo-Fi, but it's just a little bit too kind of strong for you. You could use that with a combination with, let's go to low contrast. There we go, which just kind of reins it in a little bit and makes it a little bit more manageable. So you can run more than one of these at the same time. Another one you might quite like, green. Or is it greenish? Fallout 3 used to be a slightly green game. It drove some people nuts. I actually quite liked it, but some people used to hate it. But if you liked it, like I used to, you can turn it back on here. Or maybe you preferred the kind of orangey yellows of the Mojave Wasteland. You can kind of do that here as well. Just tons and tons of little tweaks, even to the point of making the whole game black and white. At the touch of a button. And of course you can leave these things on for your whole playthrough, or you can just kind of flick them on and off depending on your current mood. Now the other thing that this does in terms of the weathers is it slows down the transitions between them. So let me just show you some more weather. Let me change it to the morning. There we go. There's a nice very, very gloomy morning here. And let's do morning again and see what we get this time. There we go. So the sun is rising. It's a very kind of overcast day. And maybe we'll get a nice sunrise as well. Now, but those weathers just went click, click, click. And Fallout actually has quite a, oh, got a little radroach, has a reasonably fast transition between weathers. And what looping has done with natural and atmospheric Commonwealth is to really slow down that transition process between the different weathers. So you actually end up with even more weathers than you would otherwise, because you've got weather A and you've got weather B, but between that you've got weather AB, and perhaps you've even got weather AAB and you've got weather BBA. You know, the slower the transition, the more different climates and different weathers that the game will give you. And so by slowing down that transition, you get even more variation in the weathers you get, but again, each one based on a realistic output. And in case I haven't mentioned it, but there's storms, there's snow, there's radstorms, there's fog, there's cloudy, there's rain, there's sunny, there's just loads of different options. There's even a fog that's so thick you can barely see kind of in front of your face, and if you're in a swampy area and you get the fog on, it's quite deliciously scary. And here's a lovely little green one. Now, supposing you get a really, really bright weather, this is one, I'll just last couple of things I'll show you here. Supposing you get really bright weather and you're out and about, it's midday, and you find it a bit kind of, ooh, you can craft yourself a pair of NEC glasses, sunglasses, which will just lower that color just a little bit. You see that? I'll take the sunglasses off again. Very bright sky, very bright sun. And you can just click them on again. So, and it dulls it right down, just like sunglasses do in real life. So again, it enhances that immersion. If you enjoy that kind of side of things, you can, on a bright day, you stick the sunglasses on, it brings it down to a manageable point. It gets to the evening or it gets to nighttime, you take your sunglasses off, and you've got that lovely kind of combination there. So it is an absolutely brilliant mod. If you like it, then of course, do come over and endorse it, whether you're using the ENB version or whether you're using the non-ENB version. It doesn't matter. It more or less does it. They do similar jobs. They had a lot of kind of similar resources. They both have the same weather and climate. There's even night vision in here as well. So the author order just included huge amounts. I suggest you come to this page, the link's in the description, and just read through. There is just tons and tons and tons of stuff here. It's very, very well detailed, and there's loads of like helps and facts in the file as well. Obviously, you can just install through the mod manager or through Bethesda, but if you look in the files themselves, you'll find tons of facts, frequently asked questions, and of course the mod author is very good at responding to things as well. Yes, I'm sucking up. Yes, I'm being overly enthusiastic, but I'm doing it because I have used this mod now for months and months. It deserves even more attention than it's getting already. And if you want a very realistic, very good weather mod, then you need to look no further than Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth. If you've enjoyed my video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. I do modits, I do build-its, I do role plays, and lots of other random stuff as well. You have been fantastic because you've made it all the way to the end of the video, so a bonus point for you, and I'll catch you really soon. Take care.